Alright, in today's video, we're going to be looking at a game where the enemy support is roaming a lot, and let's talk about how we can actually punish this. So level 1, I'm walking a little bit cautiously on the top side of the wave just in case if Bard is in the bot lane bush. But he was not, I got caught off a little bit by surprise. And pretty much here, my goal is to just stack up my Q on Yunara, and when I'm at 6 to 8 stacks, then I can look for that auto Q trade, that quick auto cancel and retreat. And keep in mind, against Ashe, I'm always placing myself between a minion, or I'm putting myself behind a minion so that she can't get that volley trade onto me, because her range is actually deceptively long with the approach velocity route. Here I position a little bit poorly around the Bard Q, so I end up not being able to punish on the level 2 timer. And this is super odd where Bard at level 2 pretty much just disappears and I'm pinging missing. I'm thinking, could he be portaling for a level 3 gank for his jungler? But by this time, when the third wave arrives, I sort of get to the conclusion, okay, he's probably gone and done something. And there he goes, he shows on mid. Which is completely odd. My mid laner eventually dodges the gank. And I crash the wave using the slow push. Actually, he doesn't dodge the gank, he dies on this one. But yeah, we get confirmation. Enemy jungler is going top. Enemy support is roaming in mid. So pretty much here, I'm just going to let the wave push into me. With the 2 melee minions there running into tower range, I'm pretty happy because this means that if I just lasted this wave, the wave is going to bounce into me and then Ashe is forced to, you know, overextend while my jungler is bot side. And one thing that you really want to be cautious about is when your minions die, the enemy minions are going to re-aggro. So you don't want to step up when your minion is about to die and be ready to back off or dip into a bush to drop the minion aggro. Bard ends up coming back in the lane after basing, but you can see Ashe is already not in a great condition. Even though she's level 4, she's not able to fight or anything, and I really want to contest the Bard W that's on the ground, and Ashe almost dies. I think if I handled my auto Q a little bit later, like if I just waited a little bit for the shield to wear off, I would have had the kill. You end up killing the Bard, and I'm thinking, okay, there's too many minions here to push, and if Jarvan recalls, then I'm in a bit of trouble. Yeah, I'm in a bit of trouble. But Jarvan shows, Ashe stays, and we just punish her with the flash Q. We know she's no flash, no barrier. So that's perfect. Come out of base with Cull double longsword. This is something I think you should buy every single game with Yunara, because Cull procs multiple times on her Q. And I'll show an example later in the game where I pretty much heal from 70% back to full HP off of 1 minion wave. And my only source of healing is Doran's Blade and Cull. Yeah, I'm looking for a trade. See, this is kind of not an optimal trade because I didn't have my Q stacks before, and while I'm using my E to gap close, I end up losing the trade out by 1 auto because I didn't have my Q stacked already. But this trade is still good nonetheless. 1, because I knew my support was coming back to lane first. We saw Bard in mid and Sona was walking from base. And 2, Sona can heal me up. We get confirmation that Bard is mid again, roaming on mid. And so this is pretty much a free kill, since this Ashe has no summoners. She sidesteps body slam, it literally doesn't matter. And we pick up another free kill. So pretty much the name of the game is, if you can't dive them 2v1, which in this case, I'm not level 6, which is Yunara's big kill pressure in lane, and I have a Sona support who really doesn't offer much in a dive, then you want to make sure you want to force this Ashe to walk up for every single minion. And if you can get the wave to push into you, like it was before, then that is perfect. Because now you're just starving Ashe out of the game, or she's going to die to a gank like that. A little mistake that I just had where I didn't track the tower plate HP and I missed the plate just to the minions. I'm heading back to lane, and now both the supports are in mid lane. I'm really thinking about when I get level 6, I can actually fight her. So instead of clearing this wave under my tower, I tank a bit of the damage, dip into the bush to drop aggro, And I'm basically saying to Ashe, if you want to take this wave, I have an all-in threat here with my adaptive potion and my ulti. But we don't see Bard for a little bit, so I'm not playing very aggressive. And I recognize that if I do start fighting bot right now, Bard will get here first. So I'm not willing to take that kind of 50-50 flip. Well, it's not a 50-50. And here, Ashe is walking up again. Initiate with the W. And just ult onto her. Do end up getting her really low. Sona's able to finish her off. But I think what went wrong, and I think we'll let it play out and go over it after. Bard is now here. I get flash ulted by Jarvan. There's nothing I can really do. Sona's gonna end up falling. Gragas gets one kill, I think. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he takes the portal. Somehow snipes the Bard off the back end. But yeah, let's rewind and actually look at what I could have done. So first, obviously, missing the W is pretty bad. I'm aiming behind her when I'm aiming at her when I already revealed myself. I should already know that she's probably clicking back as soon as I step out of the bush. Number two is I shouldn't be Eing first. I should W her first and then use E as a reaction to her ulti to try and dodge it. That way I can avoid the stun and we don't have to chase that far down the lane to actually pick up the kill. And then we wouldn't have this kind of disaster where we're lower HP. Sona's basically tanked 2 tower shots and cost her life as well. So back to lane. I recognize that, okay, this is the downtime where I'm not supposed to do anything. Ashe has just thrown her hawk shot. So realistically, I shouldn't be hitting this wave because my Sona is top lane. I don't have ulti, so the only thing I can do here is bluff that my support is here until she shows top. When she does show top, then I have to completely back off and not give her any trades, because if the same thing happens to me like it happened with Ashe, where she took that one-on-one trade with me level 5, I'm now open to, you know, being dove by the Bard or being dove by the Jarvan. Even the Tristana can roam down. So I don't really want to entertain that risk. But because we see Bard cross the top side and that this Ashe has walked up, we end up getting her flash. So I'm like, great. And Jarvan has now revealed himself on the map. He's just slain dragon. So I'm now pushing my wave just in case that this fight elongates and I need to rotate. So I'm going to push the next cannon as well. I'm also really close to Kraken Slayer. I'm pretty sure I have it on this cannon wave. I'm going to get this plate as well, just because the crystals are on the tower already. So going to look for the recall here. I'm trying not to base in a really obvious spot. So I base a little bit further back and start channeling my base. See, the Ashe spots me, throws the arrow. I try to channel my base if there is lingering vision so that she thinks I'm basing, and then I step back in the bush. I know she has no flash here, and we go for the kill. No flash, and I can just dash right on top of her, land the W, and it's super easy just like that. Bard's showing on the map again. He just showed near our raptors, so I know that, well, this tower is free for the taking. I can get the next wave as well for free. We're going to come back to lane. We've got Kraken Slayer completed, almost completed the quest, and we've got about 3 or 4 more waves to finish Cull. That'll accelerate our growth quite a bit. I'm not even sure if Ashe is in the lane at this point. I'm not sure where she's gone. So I end up just pushing the wave and standing between the tower, standing between the outer and inner tower to prevent her from entering the lane for free. And here I just have to end up ulting because she gets away on 1 HP. I was kind of trying to greed it just in the case that, you know, if I do kill her, then I still have my ulti, I still have plays after. But now I know that my play is ending because no ulti, 400 HP, and look at my gold count. Ridiculous amount of gold. I'm not able to finish Cull here, but it's still enough to base and buy a crap ton of items. Going into post-laning phase, I'm walking out with tier 2 boots completed, just because this is the phase of the game where you're going to be running around a lot more. And I've gone for plated steel caps because when I hit tab and I look at the enemy team comp, they have 2 marksmen, they have Ashe and Tristana. Tristana's actually really fed this game because of all the bard roaming. While pushing mid, we spot the bard going deep for a ward. I'm not going to chase the bard portal, but here I'm going to stack up my Kraken Slayer on the wave and then look to auto trade this Tristana. I don't have my Q up, which is a little bit dissuading for me to go further. But with my jungler dead, I'm just kind of leaning to the top side of the map. Random Gwen shows up out of nowhere and starts dropping her ulti. So I'm like, okay, we'll just give up everything. If they start the Herald, so be it. See that I miss a little bit of CS because I'm lacking that attack speed from the plated steel caps purchase. It is a little bit risky. I'm not too keen about this fight just because it is the void grubs that we're contesting, so it's not something that's too crazy. Not something that's worth flipping the game over, especially with a big shutdown. So I'm just gonna go back to mid wave, push the lane in, and try to make someone answer. I recognize that Gragas is on dragon, but I'm not feeling like I have to hit the dragon with him because we just saw everyone on top side as they were taking the grubs. With that as well, I'm also leaning heavy to bot side in the case that somehow someone's contesting Gragas on dragon, or if Jarvan decides to gank me from top side. Here, this basing spot is a little bit sus. I'm aware that I could get Ashe ulted here. My camera position should be a little bit more left side, just to sort of see if that Ashe ult is incoming. And here I evade the bard Q with the E. I think this is super risky, and even though I do get out, I don't like the fact that I have to burn my ulti here. Pretty much on very ulti reliant champs like Zeri, like Yunara, you want to be making sure you're getting value out of your ult every single time, not using it as a, like an escape tool, because now this is a 70-second window in the game where I can't do anything. I'm pretty much useless. And here I'm pinging in the game that, hey guys, I am the messiah of this game. We should be playing around me and only me. Yeah, pressure the Ashe, trying to go for the tower platings, end up getting her ulti. And a random bar just shows up, so, you know, I'm there to pick up the XP, but I'm gonna walk up mid a little bit dangerously. Without my ulti, I'm unable to really dodge the Jarvan, but because of how weak Ashe is, there is actually no follow-up on this Jarvan ulti, and we end up just killing him. We just see Gwen walk in from the bot side, and because of the little extra move speed, and you can see the speedy lines on her, you can tell that she TP'd in. I'm able to pick up the kill. I get bard stunned. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna kite back a little bit. But now I know that Tristana has no bomb since she used it on Gragas. But I dive in a little bit too deep for the bard. I think if I just switch targets to Tristana or I dodge the bard Q, this is an easy double. Back in mid with my BF sword and looking at this game state where even though I'm really strong in this point in the game, I'm really accelerated, I don't actually have to flip the game over this Herald. I can wait for my next item completion for a better chance of just flipping the game. Especially at this point where Gwen has 2 completed items, she's got that XP boost. You can see she's level 13 while I'm level 12, even though primarily this game I've been super far ahead. In this game, I'm feeling like I don't have to force too much. So Ashe goes a little bit too deep, trying to Ashe ult me, so I just punish her. And I kind of eat my own words here because using the last dash I have, I go a little bit too deep, get my Sona killed, and the slow from the Gwen ult is enough to catch me. And that's just me feeling a little bit too confident with my Yunara E. We're going to lose the Herald off of that, but because I acquired a bunch of gold from the kill and the tower previously, I have enough to complete Infinity Edge. And so this dragon is actually not too bad to fight over because I've got 3 items completed. And here, reluctantly, I have to use my ult to catch this Gwen. And the shutdown goes to my support, unfortunately. So it's kind of declared that there is no dragon fight after this because my jungler is dead, I don't have ulti. Our chances of winning that is next to none. Yeah, I'm just receiving the wave. Nothing to really do. because everyone is off the map. And Bard is a champion where even one misuse of your mobility spell is going to be able to punish you on mid-wave really easily. He can pretty much exist between two lanes of the map at the same time. So figuring out where Bard, what side of the map Bard is on is actually really important. See him on the top side of the map, so I know that actually this could be a really risky TP recall spot, and it is. I get nailed with an Ashe ulti. But Sona lands a really nice double ulti, get me out of dodge. And we end up turning this fight once Gwen's W expires. It's a very great bait by me. Just recalling in the middle of nowhere versus a Bard and an Ashe. Two globals, pretty much. Because of that, we're rewarded with a Baron. We end up seeing them go mid. It's all good. Baron's ours. And I am building Last Whisper next because of how top lane champions are this season with accelerated base levels. Yeah, Bard has 2 armor items to chew through. I think it's a valid buy just to go for. You could say it's a little bit questionable on Yunara as well because she has some magic damage built in, and you've got Fiend Hunter Bolts as well, doing true damage. But I think you can't go wrong with Last Whisper this season. It's sort of necessary to even deal damage. And now with our Baron buff, we want to be playing between 2 lanes. We understand that the enemy is just gank top, so we're pushing further into bot side. Here, I don't want to commit 4 people in a lane just because it's very hard to just force a dive or force a tower down, especially versus like Tristana and Gwen, where they can just stand there and defend. Bard ends up going in by himself. I pop the ult just for the Q refresh. I hold my dash, but I dash at the worst time while Gragas is body slamming in, and we both get Bard stunned and die, funneling into the Gwen choke point. So not the best game state at this point, where Tristana is now pushing down our tier 3. But we still have Dragon in 1 minute, and I held my flash there because there was really no point flashing after Bard Q. I was pretty much confirmed dead. And here it's looking like there's potential cleanup of the end of this fight. Even though this Jarvan is probably not caught, I see that Ashe is ideally overstaying, so I'm gonna chase after her. I'm even gonna burn my ulti. We get the flash. Even though I don't have my ulti on Dragon respawn, the Fiend Hunter Bolt is gonna allow me to have that cooldown like 20 seconds after Dragon respawn. Here we see Riven have a nice flank, so I'm like, okay, let's follow up. If we can get this Bard kill, it's really nice because now all the deaths are really scattered, or staggered rather. You see Gwen and Tristana respawning very soon, but Bard and the only person with a Sidestone is dead for 30. So we're gonna push mid. We're gonna walk to the Dragon. I think I want to start it on spawn. We can even just pull it out. We have good vision around the Dragon. So if Jarvan decides to try and walk in, we can just zone him or just run at him. Stop DPS on the Dragon. And that's exactly what I'm looking to do here. Force him back with the slow on the W and just run at him. He really wants to enter, but we can just get the Drake and run now. Kind of learned our lesson where we don't want to be running into the Gwen in team fights because then she gets that mega Omni Vamp and healing from the Q and ulti. And this is just it's just a random throw where I'm clearly basing, I'm clearly Thanos on the team, but the other players on my team, they have other ideas. They want to be the main character, so I'm walking down, but I realize there's nothing to really gain here. I'm thinking maybe I can sneak the blue buff before Jarvan gets here, but it's too risky. What's the point of flipping the game over a blue buff? If I die, it's probably game over since they have Grubs and Tristana. Tristana's a very fast pushing champion with a E and Q. You can see the leaning again, leaning top side of the lane, knowing they're all bot side. I'm gonna just tap Bard once, just push him off because you can see he's getting a little bit cocky. I don't know. Maybe it's just bard players in general. They once they get a few items, once they get a bunch of meeps, or was it chimes? Meeps or chimes? They just start feeling like they're a 20 kill 80 carry running at you like that. So it's a bit of a dead zone where there's not much for us to do. We see Gwen on bot, and they're looking for picks with Ashe ulti, with Bard ulti. And this is a game where I didn't take cleanse, because the only cleanse value is versus the Ashe and I guess Bard Q. Right? I think the barrier is just better in more scenarios than not. Push back the Bard, but I'm really cautious here of getting engaged on because they have such long range engage. But our job here is to pretty much stall. The longer we can keep them here while my Yasuo is ganking bot, the better. Because they're slower, they're going to do Baron. I'm just going to blue trinket it. And we see that Tristana is showing. I think this is actually a mistake by me. I just assumed that Jarvan and Ashe were doing it, but Ashe is actually very weak if you see the scoreboard. Tristana is the main DPS, so if Tristana is showing, there's a very low likelihood that they're actually on Baron. Or the speed that Baron's dying is going to be really slow. Yeah, we're just thinking like, we should just do the Baron, right? I don't want to waste my ulti over like a nothing burger in the jungle. I'd rather just do the Baron, pull them into the Baron, or pull them into River, and then look for a fight if something's going to happen. So yeah, I'm going to position a little bit off to the side, away from my jungler, because I know he's the target for Bard, he's the target to disrupt since it's Baron flip. And realistically, we should be turning here, because Jarvan is able to EQ, so that's what I'm going for. It's a little bit late, and it's a complete flip on Baron, but we end up winning it. I know that Tristana's down here somewhere, so I'm thinking if I get my next E and ulti, she should be dead. But instead I just collapse on the Ashe and Bard, and we march our way to victory. Should be super clean. We have 5 people with Baron. But yeah, this game has been obviously an extreme example of how enemy supports can roam a lot and disrupt your other lanes. And we talked a little bit about how you should actually punish your enemy laner. Force them to walk up in lane. Don't just hand them the creeps for free. Even though it might feel like your other lanes are losing like quite quickly, they're being pressured a lot. Your goal in bot lane is to starve them of as many resources as possible until the Bard comes back to bot lane. Especially if you don't have dive threat through, you know, your jungler or your support. Like if I had a Nautilus this game, obviously diving is a lot easier, right? Because he can just walk up and auto Q, and it's voila. Even if we trade 1-for-1, the Ashe is going to lose the wave and we win out. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to elevate your League of Legends skills and be coached by me, use the link wtl.lol/crab and use crab10 at the checkout to get $10 off your first month.